Edward Ned Kelly was born in June 1854 in Beveridge, Victoria, Australia. The son of Irish immigrants, John Red Kelly and Ellen Quinn, Ned's early life was marked by hardship and struggle. His family, like many Irish immigrants, faced poverty and discrimination in their new homeland. Ned's father, Red Kelly, was a former convict who had served a sentence in Tasmania before settling in Victoria. His brushes with the law would foreshadow the future struggles of his son. Young Ned grew up in a tough environment, learning the ways of survival from an early age. At the age of 14, Ned had his first run-in with the law when he was arrested for allegedly assaulting a Chinese pig farmer. This incident marked the beginning of a tumultuous relationship with the authorities that would define his life. Under Power's mentorship, Ned learned the skills of a bushranger, but he was soon captured and spent time in prison. After his release, the Kelly family's troubles with the law continued to escalate. In 1878, a violent altercation between Constable Alexander Fitzpatrick and the Kelly family led to Ned and his brother Don fleeing into the bush. The incident, known as the Fitzpatrick Affair, set off a chain of events that would lead to the formation of the Kelly gang. With their mother, Ellen Kelly, imprisoned for her alleged involvement in the Fitzpatrick incident, Ned and Don were joined by their friends Joe Byrne and Steve Hart. The Kelly gang was now on the run, wanted men with a growing reputation. The Kelly gang's most notorious act occurred at Stringybark Creek in October 1878, where they ambushed and killed 3 policemen. This act of violence shocked the colony and made the gang the most wanted outlaws in Australia. Despite the manhunt, the Kelly gang continued their criminal activities. They robbed banks in Euroa and Geraldry, distributing their stolen money to friends and supporters. These daring exploits earned them a Robin Hood-like status among some segments of the population. Ned's charismatic leadership and the gang's defiance of the authorities resonated with many struggling settlers, particularly Irish Australians, who felt oppressed by the British colonial government. The legend of Ned Kelly was growing. In June 1880, the Kelly gang's reign came to a dramatic end at Glenrowan. Ned planned a bold scheme to derail a train carrying police reinforcements and stage an uprising. However, their plan was foiled, and the gang found themselves besieged by the police in the Glenrowan Inn. In a desperate bid to protect themselves, the gang wore suits of armor made from plowshares. These suits, weighing over 40 kilograms, would become an iconic symbol of the Kelly legend. The siege was fierce. Ned, clad in his armor, charged at the police, but was eventually brought down by multiple gunshot wounds to his legs. His comrades, Don, Joe, and Steve, were killed, and the inn was set ablaze. Ned Kelly, the last surviving member of the gang, was captured and taken to Melbourne, where he was put on trial for murder. Despite his eloquent defense, he was found guilty and sentenced to death. Ned's trial captivated the public, with many viewing him as a folk hero standing up against injustice. Despite petitions for clemency, the government was determined to make an example of him. On November 11, 1880, at the age of 25, Ned Kelly was hanged at the Melbourne jail His last words, such as life, became legendary, epitomizing his defiant spirit. Today, Ned Kelly's legacy is a complex and enduring part of Australian history. His life has been the subject of countless books, movies, and songs, each interpreting his story through different lenses.